I remember the first day I met James Cunningham straight out of Mount Union. It was a connection, first day I ever met him. Young and confident, borderline cocky, and a heart of gold. It's been a pleasure watching him grow up and be a mentor to so many other people, and a father and a husband, and just turn into an absolute beast in the business and a beast in the gym. And speaking of being a beast in the business, part of what Justin spoke about was just getting through adversity. You can't get everything that you got coming to you and that you want unless you can graduate from the University of Adversity. And that's one thing that everybody at the top got in common. And so James currently right now is, you heard people speak about, JB saying we're praying for your family. Some of you don't know what that means. James's son he was in a coma for 8 days in a car accident, 17-year-old. So he has his daughter and his wife at home. This has been going on for weeks. This trip was scheduled and planned, and I didn't think he was gonna make it. Anybody that knows anything about James, he's glued to being a family man and a father. And he said he had to set the tone and set the example of how to get through adversity and how to keep things pushing. And it's a miracle, not only that your son is now out of a coma and breathing, but a miracle that you made it here today. So, introducing James Cunningham.
All right, so I asked Simon, I said, do I have permission to keep it real? No filters. It's interesting being here. Every time I come here, it's like, some of you just might not understand how special you have it. I remember when the office was about that size right there in that room.
Right.
Like literally. And to see where it's at today, I think is important to remind some of you new faces in the room, you have it special. And sometimes you don't realize it, but you really do. So I have to start there. But also remember that, when it comes to anything that you're fighting in life, listen, we're all going to go through battles. We're all going to go through battles. You just can't ever forget why you're fighting. And we all are fighting for something. We have a vision we're fighting for. We have goals we're fighting for. Most importantly, you should always have a legacy you're fighting for. So I told Simon, I said, listen, if I'm going to impact somebody today, I want to try and bring it back to, if I was brand new, what would I want to know that I know today that'll help me in my career moving forward? So I got 10 tips, just 10 tips. And I'm pretty sure you've already heard about some of it because, listen, there's a reason why we're visiting you all. You were the #1 agency in the whole company last year. And don't forget the jersey that you put on every single day. So let me give you 10 tips that'll help you. And I promise you, if you can get these 10 tips rocking and rolling in your life, you're going to be way better off. So here's #1. You got to get a foundation. So no filter. Here's the question. How the can you build something if you don't have a foundation? It's impossible. So what's the foundation here? And this applies to everything in life. You have to take care of your spirit, mind, and body every day. Every day. Every day. No excuses. It don't matter how you feel. I had 4 hours of sleep last night. Still got my happy ass up at 4 a.m. And I'm in Pittsburgh. I could have been making excuses. Blah, blah, blah. But no time for that. You gotta get your foundation built in life. And once you have the foundation built, then you can build on it. Got it? That's tip #1. Tip #2, VGE. Remember those acronyms, that acronym, VGE. And that stands for vision, goals, and execution. Without a vision, people will perish. It's a fact. So you gotta have a vision. So it doesn't matter if you're brand new, if you're an SA, GA, MGA, RGA, you have to have a vision. And speaking of vision, don't chase titles. Too many people chase titles in this world. And here's why I'm saying that, because you're surrounded by people that have been paying the price, man, putting in the work, like in places and positions that if they wanted to, they can become an SGA tomorrow, right? But here's the deal. Here's the reality, the title. There's SAs in this company that make more than SGAs.
True.
So listen, you're in a good place. All you need to do is just keep doing what you're doing right now, right here. So just understand that you have to have a vision, you have to have goals, and you have to execute. And once you do those things, you're on your way. So that's tip #2. Tip #3 is sacrifice. You've heard this before. You're either going to sacrifice for the life you want, or the life you want is going to become the sacrifice. You got to sacrifice. There's no way around it, man. I don't care who you are. I'm sacrificing right now. And someone else in this room, you got to sacrifice. So don't hesitate. Actually, look forward to, plan out the things you're going to sacrifice, and it'll be better off. Got it? That's number 3. Number 4, roll with the winners. Okay? This isn't about our team. This is just understanding that in life, roll with some winners and don't roll with losers. Okay? So pay attention to the people you spend your time with, because you have everyone in this room is blessed. When they come here, you're rolling with winners. But what happens when you leave the office? What happens when you're with the people who you were normally with before you came here? You got to watch that stuff, because those are the individuals that will influence you sometimes more than the individuals here. Does that make sense? Roll with the winners. Get around winners only. That's number 4. Number 5, PTP. You got to pay the price. You have to pay the price. Listen, whatever the price is, that's the price. Pay the The sooner you get it paid, the better off it's going to be. You either pay the price now, or you got to pay the price later. Get this over with. Simple. It don't matter who you are, where you want to go in life. There's a price to be paid. Just pay it sooner rather than later. And stay focused while you're going through it. And always remember that there's a price that's got to be paid. That's number 5. Number 6, serve. 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 The more people you serve, and here's what I mean by that. The members in the homes, the teammates that you have, just think about the impact that you truly want to have. And if you truly want to have impact, this is just going to be your natural walk of life. Make sense? So you need to focus on serving too. Number 7 is decide. You got to decide exactly what you want and when you want it. You have to decide exactly what you want and when you want it. Simon probably remembers this. When I first started, and I remember being the top producer in the agency for the first time, I went up there and I talked about this empire that I had, this vision of what I wanted to do. Some people thought I was crazy. I didn't give a shit, but that was my vision. That's what I wanted. And I had a deadline of when I wanted to get there. And here's the reality. Sometimes you might get there when you want to. That don't mean you change where you're trying to go. You just got to change the strategy of how to get there. Does that make sense? But you got to decide, because if you don't decide, who's going to decide for you? No one. All right, cool. That's number 7. Number 8, know your why. You need to know your why and never forget it. John Gordon said this. He's one of my favorite authors. He said, we don't get burned out because of what we do. We get burned out because we forget why we're doing it. We forget why we're doing it. And I'm telling you, what we do, if it was easy, everybody would do it. It's very easy to forget why we decided when we shook somebody's hand. Hey, I want the opportunity. I'm ready to rock and roll. You see people up here. Listen, it's easy to forget about why you were all excited day one. But you got to keep these things in front of you. So you need to make sure you never forget your why. Keep it in front of you at all times. Number 9, control. You don't really have to focus on controlling people because you're going to drive yourself crazy. You just have to focus on controlling what you can control. And it's A&E. A&E. You got to control your attitude and your effort. That's it. That's the only thing you're responsible for. Controlling your attitude and effort. You can't control what cards you're dealt, but you can control how you play the cards that you're dealt. Got it? Number 10, you got to keep showing up. And the one thing I love about this business is that, it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. You can never stop a person that won't stop. Like, you ever try getting in front of somebody who just won't stop? Like, that's you. And listen, people might not put you in that category right now, but one day they will. You just got to keep going. If you never stop, what's going to happen?
You're gonna win.
That's it. But what happens in life, people just throw in the towel. And I said this the last time I was here. Listen, if you take the towel that you were all blessed with, that we're all blessed with, and just wipe the ass, like wipe the shit off your ass, keep it moving, wipe the sweat off your head. Use the towel the right way versus throwing it in. You're gonna be better off. It's funny, but I'm telling you, these are the things that we tend to do, like it's common. But if you want to live the life that 1% will live, you got to do what 99% won't do. And you got to just keep showing up when others won't. Whether you like it or not. Even if you're tired, you're sick, just keep showing up. Keep showing up. So listen, I just want to remind you guys, you have it really great. You're in the right place at the right time. Take advantage of this life-changing opportunity, man. You have an opportunity to change the course of generations, man. And I think sometimes we don't realize it. So I appreciate the time, appreciate the welcome. Stay after it, and we love you guys. Thank you.